Shalom, family. Grace, mercy, and peace be unto you from Yahuwah, our Father, and Yahusha, the Mashayah, the one that carries the burden of Yah, his voice, our high priest, soon coming King. Hear, O Yeshua, Yahuwah, our mighty one, he is one. This is Brother David coming to you again to make a proclamation. You are the light of the world. And this is Preparation for the Kingdom, Part 3. What if your light has been extinguished? What do? Light it again. And this time, keep it lit. What did King David say about this light? He said, "Thy word, O Yah, is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path." What is the word? The laws, statutes, judgments, and commandments. Today, we're going to Matthew chapter 5, verses 17 to 20, to hear what our soon-coming King has to say about the law. Let me tell you a story. Matthew chapter 5, verse 17 was the first sermon that I ever preached. I was in the bishop's chambers upstairs, serving him. And he called me over. He says, "David?" "Yes, sir." "I want you to preach a homily." A homily is about 15-minute sermon. And you have 1 hour to prepare. My heart fell out my chest. I had to bend over and pick it up. Then call EMS to give me heart compressions. I thought I was going to die. But I went into the closet, a separate room, quiet space, alone. And I prayed to my Father. I said, "Father, give me a word for your people." So I closed my eyes. I opened the book, and I put my finger on the place where it was open, and my finger was on Matthew chapter 5, verse 17. I went out, and I preached that evening before a massive crowd of people. By the time I finished, the whole church was on their feet, praising and glorifying the Most High. The bishop ran over to me and said, "David, let me be the first person to put money in your pocket." And the whole church followed suit and started throwing money at me from every direction. So my preaching career started then. And from then up to now, I have preached the law. Let's begin. Matthew chapter 5, verses 17 through 18. Verse 17. Think not. Why does he keep saying that? He told us, "Think not that I came to bring peace on earth. I came to bring a sword." He came to bring division. But look what he's saying here. Don't you think, don't put it in your mind that I am come to destroy the law. Why is he saying this? He is countering the doctrines of demons and devils that would come down 2,000 years later. What is that? They said that Jesus Christ abolished the law through his cursed death on the cross. Listen to what the Yahusha is saying. I am not come to destroy the law or the prophets. Why is he saying the prophets? When you read the prophetic books, you find out that there's only one people that he's coming for. There's only one people who were chosen. They are the children of Yeshua. There is no such thing as spiritual Israel or the church or Islam or Judaism. It's only us. I am not come to destroy. He doubled down, but to fulfill. To fulfill what? The prophecy. What prophecy is that? Yahuwah said that he would raise up another prophet, like unto Masha, a lawgiver. Unto him you shall listen. Listen to what our lawgiver, our prophet, has to say. Verse 18. For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, has heaven and earth passed away? If you're listening to me now, that means no. See the sun rise and set, see the moon come out at night, and sometimes riding in the day. So heaven and earth hasn't passed away. Not one jot or tittle shall in no way pass from the law to all be fulfilled. You know what men say? All has been fulfilled. And I asked them how. They said because Jesus came and died on the cross. All has been fulfilled. That is a person who is lacking information. That is a person who is unlearned and unstable. They don't know the order of events. Maybe you don't. Let me help you out a little. First step was the prophet was supposed to come. Here he is speaking right now to the people. Then he went to the tree at Passover. He died for you and me. He was the sacrificial lamb. Now he's in heavenly realms, making continual intercession on our behalf. He's our priest. Soon he's going to come in the clouds. He's going to destroy all of his and our enemies. Satan shall be taken, put in chains. The man of sin shall be taken, put in chains. The false prophet shall be taken, put in chains, and they shall all be thrown into the bottomless pit. He's going to come and gather us from all of the places around the earth that we were scattered in ships. He's going to usher us back into the promised land, where we shall dwell safely with him, and we shall rule for 1,000 years. Then after 1,000 years, Satan shall be loose, shall be freed. The God of the Europeans, the God of the rest of the world. And he's going to lead his people into death. They're going to come against us again in the promised land. The Father has prepared a burial place for them. The Bible says it's going to take 7 months to bury all the dead. He's going to send a fire through Eurasia, through Europe, Gog and Magog, and destroy all the rest of our enemies. He's also going to send a fire through Persia and Ethiopia. And after all of our enemies have been destroyed, look to the sky. There you shall see, descending from heaven, that great city, the new Yerushalayim. Who's going to be in that city? Yahuwah, the master of the universe, the creator of all things, the great one himself. That city is going to be 1,500 miles long, 1,500 miles wide, 1,500 miles high. There shall be 12 gates. Each of the gates will have one of the names of the tribes of the children of Yisrael. You shall enter into the gate for the tribe in which you come from. Then the Father said, He shall create a new heaven and a new earth, and that is when all has been fulfilled. Verse 19. Whosoever therefore shall break one of the least commandments. One of the least. Let's see. Eating pork and shellfish, and shall teach men to do so. You mean to tell me you're going to teach men to eat pork and shellfish because Peter had a dream? That's what they say in church. Peter had a dream of unclean and clean animals. And in the dream, the Most High spoke to him and said, don't you call anything that I have created unclean. No one goes to context. If they would have read a little further down, the explanation of the dream would have came forward. He was talking about the northern kingdom, those who were going to return to the fold. He said, don't you call them unclean. He never told you to eat pork or shellfish. If Peter or Shamaun had told you to eat pork or shellfish, he would be transgressing the law and teaching you to do so. And he is not. Listen what's going to happen to those who teach men to transgress the law. He shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven. That means you're nothing. You're a beggar. Your hand will always be open. But whosoever shall do, let me start this over. But whosoever shall hear it, do it, and teach them. Teach what? The laws, statutes, judgments, and commandments. The same, that person, that man, that woman, even that child, shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven. Where do you stand right now? Correct your behavior. Immerse yourself in the law. Apply it. And teach your children to do so. Verse 20. For I say unto you, that except your righteousness. What is righteousness? Righteousness is keeping the laws, statutes, judgments, and commandments, shall exceed the righteousness of the scribes and the Pharisees. Ye shall in no case, no way, even enter into the kingdom of heaven. What? The scribes and the Pharisees were the teachers of the law, weren't they? The scribes, they translated and transliterated the text and put it on parchment. The Pharisees, they were the teachers of the law. They wore the best robes. They were revered by the people, practically worshipped. Note, they were not the Aaronic priesthood. These are sects that arose later after the Aaronic priesthood was wiped away. Listen to me. What did Yahusha call them? You brood of vipers. What does that mean? A litter of vipers? A whole bunch of them. Then he told them, your father is the devil. Do you know the apostles that were with him were trembling in their sandals? They said, how can you speak to the teachers of the law like that? They're supposed to be respected. They're supposed to be revered. Yahusha, you can't do that. You cannot disrespect our leaders. Listen to me, brothers and sisters. The reason that the apostles spoke in that way is because they did not understand the law. If they did, they would understand what Yahusha was teaching them here. Every time he expounded on the law, he spoke in parables, parallels, analogies, so that they could understand, and still they didn't understand because they knew not the law. Fast forward to today. The scribes and the Pharisees still exist amongst us, and yet the people don't even know who they are. We call them the Israelite brothers, the camps, the ones who say that they were united in Christ. The people revere them. The people respect them. In the people's mind, they are the teachers of the law. But they don't even keep the law. Let me read this again. That except your righteousness shall exceed the righteousness of the Israelite brothers and the camps, you shall in no case enter into the kingdom of heaven. Are you trembling in your slippers and your sneakers right now? Because I'm talking about the people who you respect even more than Yahusha. He was warning you that they would be here. They do not keep any of the first 4 commandments that apply to Yahuwah. 1, thou shalt not have any other mighty ones before me. They said Christ, the God of Constantine the Great, united them. The Bible says, thou shalt not take the name of Yahuwah in vain. If you said Christ united you, you have taken the name of Yahuwah in vain. Why didn't you say Israel united in Yahusha? If you would have said Yahusha, there's our Father's name. What did Yahusha say? I've come in my Father's name, and you receive me not. So they didn't use the Father's name. They chose the God of Constantine the Great. So they've taken the name of Yahuwah in vain. They're holding it empty, worthless, without use. Then he told you not to make any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or the earth beneath, or the waters under the earth. They created an image, and they call him Christ. That's 3 violations already. Then it tells you to remember the Sabbath day and keep it holy. They forgot. And they're teaching you to keep a Saturday Sabbath fixed on the Gregorian calendar, Pope Gregory's calendar, the Roman Catholic Church. They are still following the feast of the Gentiles. And listen to me. They're teaching you to do also. Brothers and sisters, immerse yourself in the law. The law reveals sin. The law reveals wickedness. If you don't know the law, you cannot spot wickedness, even if it's right before your face. Matthew chapter 6, verse 33. Now we need to go one chapter over. Read 5 and 6. He says a lot in these 2 chapters. But you want to know the winning prescription to make it into the kingdom, correct? He's going to give it to you right now. But seek ye first. Did he say second? Third? First. Your first priority is seeking the kingdom of Yahuwah. You should be consumed with it. What comes first for us, though? Work. Money. Things. Even our children. Seek ye first the kingdom of Yahuwah and his righteousness, not your righteousness, not the scribes and the Pharisees' righteousness, not the Israelite brothers' righteousness, his righteousness. What is that? The laws, statutes, judgments, and commandments. And all these things shall be added unto you. Or what things? Shelter, food, clothing, all of the resources that you need to make it through this life. Let me ask a question. Have any of you ever tried this winning prescription? Let me ask you another question. Is there no faith in Yeshua? Very few are going to find him and exercise their faith and keep his commandments. Let me tell you, there's a story in the Bible of a man who found a pearl of great price. And he went and sold all that he had to acquire that pearl. That means he gave up everything. Yahusha said, the kingdom of heaven is likened unto that man. I am that man. I have done that. I've given up the world to serve my master. I have experienced all of these things being added. I want for nothing and live better than probably you do. It's been 4 years since we discovered Yahuwah's Sabbath. In 4 years, I have not missed one day. Brother David, it changes every single month. How can you keep that for 4 years? You don't work? Yes. I have my own business. I instructed all of you years ago who were with us to start your own business so you can keep his Sabbath days. It is the only way. Did you know the children of Yeshua all had their own business? They were all business people. How do you think they were able to keep the Sabbaths and the new moons and all of the feast days? Because they didn't work. for other people. The ones who worked for other people are the ones who went in debt. And even the ones whom you were working for in the kingdom were righteous people, and they made sure that when the Sabbath days and the new moons come, all the work stopped. Fast forward to Brother David. Every single month it changes, right? That means I have to take off, shut down. Anyone who works for me, they can't work. I've lost massive amounts of business. I lost massive amounts of money. But yet, all of my needs. Did I say some? All of my needs have been supplied because I followed the winning prescription. Seek first his kingdom, Yahuwah, his kingdom, his righteousness. And all these things will be added unto you. The reason that you don't try this is because really, in all reality, you don't believe. Now let me show you some brothers who believe. They sat down. They strategized, and they came up with a solution. So we're going to have two solutions here. One, create your own business. Here's the next solution. If you're working for someone. This is from my brother, Brother Melville, Infinite Studios. He's in Antigua. Sometimes you see his sighting on New Moon's Day. Listen to this. Dear Mr. Lewis, Accommodation for Biblical Belief and Practice. I am writing this letter to request a schedule that would allow for my observance of the Sabbath. Unlike the Seventh-day Adventist Sabbath, which is observed on Saturdays, I have come to the understanding that the true reflection of the biblical Sabbath is one that is a methodological calculation of the rotation of the moon. By this, a biblical Sabbath is likely to fall on any given day of the week in one cycle and is subject to change to a different day in another cycle. With advance notification, I would greatly appreciate you giving due consideration to a shift in my work schedule so that I would not have to make the impossible choice of, let me change a word, being faithful to the Most High, let me change another word, or keeping my job. I remain hopeful that you will be able to commit to this accommodation, which assuredly would testify to my loyalty and dedication to be the best employee I can be. My respect for the Most High's authority, which is leading me to observe his appointed Sabbaths, will also translate into respect for the best interests of your company, Mr. Lewis, and the giving of my very best service at work. Thank you in advance for your consideration. Respectfully yours, your name. You can write this down so you can use it for yourself. Blessings be unto you, Brother Melville, and to all of those who are under you, who are keeping Yah's Sabbaths, and applying this letter to your employer. What do you do before you send this letter to your employer? Fast and pray. Speak to the Most High. Explain to him what you want to do. Father, O Great One, I just want to keep your Sabbaths. Cleanse the way on my behalf. Give me favor with Mr. Lewis. that he would accept this letter. In the name of Yahusha, I pray. Halal, Yahuwah. This letter here just blew my mind. I said the brothers really want to keep the Sabbath. They're not making excuses. They're doing everything they can to be on time with Yahuwah. Deuteronomy chapter 6, verses 6 to 7. Verse 6. And these words. Let's stop for a second. The translations of the Europeans cover up the true meaning of this book. Every time you read in this book and you see the word of Yah, these words, anything to do with the word, it's only speaking of one thing. The word is the law. Do you understand? They didn't put in this law, which I, who is I, Yahuwah, command thee this day, shall be in thine heart. That's why you're not trying to keep it. It's not in your heart. If it were in your heart, you would be like Brother Melville, strategizing how you can keep the Father's days. You would be like Brother David. I'll give it all up. Start my own business so that I can keep Yahuwah's days. When it's in your heart, you will find a way to carry it out. Verse 7. And thou, who is thou, you, head of household, shall teach them. Teach what? His laws, statutes, judgments, and commandments diligently unto thy children. Hey, we've been running from the law for all these years, but fast forward to the New Testament. Our soon coming king told you, you have to still keep this law. Look at the strategy. Look what must happen in your house. And shall talk of them when thou sittest in thine house. Are you doing that? When thou walkest by the way. Are you doing that? When thou liest down. Are you doing that? And when thou risest up. Are you doing that? I have, and still am. That's why I don't have anyone in my house. They don't want to hear the law. They hate it. It cuts deep into the heart. So therefore, they cannot be around someone who is looking into their soul and sees their true nature. That's why the Father wants you to do this. Every demon, every devil is going to show their head when you start this strategy here. So we had to create a list. How to rule your house well. We know how to rule our house according to the ways of this world. Not according to the law, do we? Let's see. The first thing you have to do is rule yourself. Do you know that the wife, the children, or the husband, they can tell if you're a hypocrite or not. A hypocrite cannot be a beacon of light to the others. What's next? Number 1, don't be a wimp. Men, choice, lion or kitten. A lion takes charge. He's not a hypocrite. He's not saying or acting like he's something that he's really not. How do you carry yourself? Everything you need to know is in the law. The law is your template. Yeah. Any questions that you have on how to rule your house or what to do, it's in this book. It's been provided. All you have to do is take a look. 2. First thing you have to do when you start the cleansing process in the house is to lay down the law. When the Father brought us out of the land of Egypt, the first thing he did was brought us to the mount. When we got to the mount, he laid down the law. Once you lay down the law, you have to carry out judgment. Law is weak without judgment. 3. For the married ladies. Yes. You have some problems. You've come to the knowledge of the truth. Yes, you have. You know that you have to keep the law. You're on fire. All you want to do is call upon his name and study and apply his word. But there's a guy out there on the couch. He doesn't keep anything. What do you do? Do you jump at him and tell him that, he's a heathen and he's going straight to hell? No, you can't do that. Do you get mad at him and decide, I'm not going to feed you dinner or pay you any attention or give you any honey when you want it? No, you can't do that. Well, I'm going to just leave him because he is not following Yahuwah. Nor are you in those cases. Read 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 1 to 4. There's only one way that you can win over the unbelieving husband. Your meek, quiet spirit, coupled with respect. It's the only way to win him over. Just think you coming and serving him while he's watching football and ignoring you. And it's on the Sabbath day. And you're coming to serve him and treating him like he's your master. That is going to cause him to think, why is she doing this? What is this change that came over her? This is the winning template for your husband to change to Yahuwah. Will it take overnight? No, sometimes it could take, who knows, no time limit. But you married to him. You made a covenant. You got to stay with him. And the only way to make it work is to respect him. Number 4, let's speak about the woman who's the head of household. Women, you are the head of your households today. You rule there. Yes, you do. And you have to rule your own house well now. Not according to men, but according to the law. And if you got boys in the house, you cannot be a wimp. Let me tell you, I came up under a single parent household. Only my mother was present. She was gangster. She used to say things that made us fear for our life. When she laid down the law and you violated it, You did not hear her coming. All you know is, and you say, what did I do? What did I tell you, boy? I'm going to skin you alive. And boy, we were trembling like, what you mean you're going to skin us alive? We're watching cowboy movies, then how they scalped the white man was thinking of, she's going to scalp us. She put fear in our hearts. We were afraid to disobey her. But I'm old now. I'm not afraid anymore. Something about that little woman, 4 feet tall, 87 years old, still come and point that finger in my face, and I don't know, something happens. It's like, you just melt. You just, yes, ma'am. That's how you have to be, especially if you have boys. You have to be gangster and take charge. Can't be a hypocrite. If you say it, you got to do it. And the law is your template. The law will guide you through every step. All you have to do is look for it. Some problem you're having in your house, look in the law. It would give you the solution. But here's something else, It's been bothering me for a while, and I meant to address it. I might as well say it now and get it over with, because it troubles me. What about the children? You're keeping the Sabbath. Are the children keeping the Sabbath too? The little ones I'm talking about, the ones that are under your control. The other ones, once you lay down the law and you carry out all these things, if they don't follow instructions, then you have to expel them. But the little ones are under you. You rule over them. Do they go to school on the Sabbath? Hey, Sabbath day, every month switches to another day. So how do you work that out? Or do you allow them to go to school on the Sabbath? Remember, it says, thou or thy man or thy son or thy daughter or thy manservant or thy maidservant, all of them are involved in this, aren't they? Yeah. So if they go to school, they're violating the law, and you'll be violating the law too. I have a question that's also an answer. Why did he go into school in the first place? The coronavirus is in the land. The plague. Why are they in school in the first place? If you let them go to school during this time, aren't they going into danger? Yeah. Why not just take them out of school? Let them be virtual school if you want, or you teach them. I would teach my own. If I had little ones today, I would take charge. I would teach them. Yeah. Get a curriculum from the school, and you start from there. You'll learn some things too. Let me tell you why I'm saying all of this. We're in the last days, and these children will go to school, contract the virus. They could die. You hear the children dying now. They could bring it home to you. You die. Yeah, but if you keep them home and teach them yourself, I think that's a winning strategy. I mean, you make your own decision. I'm just bringing this up so that, you can see some things. Here's another thing. Why do we send them to these secular schools in the first place? All they're going to teach the children are wickedness. Yeah. Your children's going to go for Halloween. What is it? Valentine's Day. Christmas, Thanksgiving, I mean, every single pagan holiday they have, your children will be a participator in them. So we can't have a double standard, can we? Can we be teaching the law all day to our children while we're at home and in the street and all these things, but then send them off to a secular school so that they can learn wickedness also? And wickedness seems to be more fun because they have things attached to it, like Valentine's Day is cards and candy and a little girlfriend and a kiss and all of that stuff, and Halloween trick-or-treating and going around and getting candy all over the place and dressing up in costumes, and Christmas is gifts. Listen to me. That is irresistible. So why do we do it? I think we need to correct it. 5, on the Sabbath day, have service in your house. Well, I can't teach, Brother David. You don't have to. Like this video here, take it, tear it apart. Discuss every chapter. Go to the Hebrew. Transliterate words for yourself or names or whatever you want to do. Stay busy. Be a Berean. I'm telling you. To me, it's the best thing that ever happened to me. I can just go, and if I read something, I can go to the original text and break it down and, make sure that I have the right words. You can do it too. This has been some series. It is cut straight to the heart. When something cuts straight to the heart like this, there's only one thing that we can do. Correct our behavior. He's coming soon. Make sure your candle is lit. Shalom.